Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a match between Maynard and Clown here on Lost Temple. This was played September 6th, 2001. Both of the games featured today with Maynard were played on the same day. And if this makes you feel old, then welcome to the club. Bottom left-ish of Lost Temple, we have the teal Protoss player. It is Clown. And on the top side of the map, it is the red Zerg player, Maynard. Now, he did play Terran mostly, but off-raced as well from time to time and is pretty darn good with it. According to Wikipedia, he's 40 now, which, good heavens, he's 40. He got a degree, apparently, from UTEP, with a degree in electrical engineering in 2005. Like, he's probably got kids. 2001 was a long time ago, everyone. This is by far the oldest replay I've ever cast on the channel. And yes, I did watch it a little bit to make sure that it wasn't broken, so I think we're able to get through to the end here. What we're gonna have, though, is players that played in 2001, okay? The meta was not established. We didn't have things like, I don't think, the 1-gate expand or the Forge Fast expand yet for Protoss. We didn't really have the 9 pool or the 12 hatch or anything. I think people pretty much did whatever they wanted to do, whatever personal builds they had come up with in 2001. The professional scene didn't exist either, I don't think. Anyway, somebody asked for a Maynard replay or two, and I was like, let me see what I can find. So BW Replay has actually had some out there. And it turns out kind of the shorter the replay, the less likely it is that it's going to die, which is nice. So I appreciate that about the replays. I believe this is patch 1.08, which is the first patch that allowed for replays to be taken at all. So that's how old this is. I remember that specifically because I remember being in college and being like, holy crap, they're adding replays to StarCraft, and it was 1.08. That was the one you had to make sure that you were running in order to get a replay file after the fact. It blew our minds. It was so cool. Look at this. Look at this. He's just, he's just hatching at the top of his ramp. The goal here is to defend the ramp with Sunkens more than it is to expand. Like, one base plays were all the rage. First Clown has 2 pylons up when he doesn't need 2 pylons. I'm telling you, this is what StarCraft was in 2001, alright? Especially in America. Maybe by the time 2001 reached Korea, it was a different thing. But by golly, this is going to be some extra weird stuff. You notice the command centers are floating for Krusha here and Asurus, and that's because there were no observer slots back then. If you wanted to observe something live, you had to join the game, a custom game, and then be Terran and float your command center off and kill all your SCVs and hide the one that survived in a corner. That's exactly what we're seeing here from these 2 observers. They know what they're doing by this point. Yeah, I believe the observing stuff showed up like 2000 or so, fall 2000, spring 2001, somewhere around there. So pretty much everyone's old hat at being having replays at this point. Observing's even older than that. So we're honestly what is this, right? Like, okay, he's got a 3rd pylon coming up, so he doesn't get supply block. That's nice. 2-gate, no cyber core at all. This is I'm afraid of being Ling rushed, and I'm gonna wall off with zealots. That's all I'm doing. There are definitely Lings out here. I'm gonna guess this is gonna be a creep colony. Oh, is it gonna expand? Okay, so Maynard does expand at 18 supply. He is supply blocked. Again, this is not going to be perfect play. This is not even necessarily going to be professional level play that you might have seen back then. This is Maynard. He's the guy that popularized the act of transferring workers to a newly created expansion. The process Maynarding is about him. So he's got a bunch of Lings out here and just not a thought for expanding here from Clown whatsoever. He's getting a cybernetics core. He's got a lot of zealots, which I do appreciate. That's cool, but maybe go pressure the Zerg with your zealots, man. Sitting them all back here isn't going to do much for you. If you're trying to hold a ramp, 2 will do a great job, and while they're holding, you can make a couple more if you need to. Maybe get some Dragoons, put them at the top of the ramp here. I don't know. It feels weird to critique the play of somebody that played a game 20 years ago. It really, really does. 10 years feels a little bit less weird. Like it was more part of the meta. There was just more established strategies in 2009 than in 2001, but I mean, it's going to work for him, right? I'm afraid this is happening. I'm doing this. That's exactly what's going on here. I don't know if Clown here has faced off against Maynard before, but by golly, the Lings are here and they see the Zealots at the top of the ramp and go, we don't I don't know. We're not getting a run-by here. Maybe a run-by would be pretty good. The slow zealots would have to chase him around. They'd probably get a bunch of probe kills. Look at how oversaturated he is on one base. He's got 22 workers on one base. 22. That is too many for one base. And are we going to do a Maynard transfer? Yep, we're sending some drones down. Lair coming up here too. Maynard has I would say, a much better concept of what he's doing than Clown does. Which, you know, Clown could just be some random dude playing StarCraft on the ladder one day. Heaven knows that was me back then. That was absolutely me back in fall 2001. I was working at I remember, I was working at the time. I was doing call center stuff every day after work. I didn't really have much to do with my life, and so I played a bunch of StarCraft. I love how sending this probe out is a possibility for Clown. Like, you know there's a million lings down here. What is he trying to do? So, alright. We've got ourselves a Citadel of Adun going for speed. Ooh, well, the Temporal Archives here, too. But yeah, this is it. This is a one-basing Protoss versus a two-basing Zerg at 6 minutes. And that's just how things were back then. Spire coming in. Loving that. Got the double gas rolling. You notice we didn't rush to Spire exactly. We're definitely going for some of those Mutalisks. And again, for those of you who ask, Brood War was 98. So Brood War was the same year as StarCraft was released. Essentially, the entirety of the StarCraft scene was Brood War. There were about 6 months where StarCraft 1 existed, and that was it. But again, 1.08 is when the replay concept came about, and so there are no replays from StarCraft 1. Unfortunately, all we might have are some VODs, maybe, that somebody took with a video camera back in 98 of StarCraft 1, maybe some games that were played, and they uploaded them to YouTube 7 years later. Or later than that, I don't know. 6 Mutalisks in production. The anti-air here is not great. There is no forge, there are no cannons. This might be a minor problem for Clown here. But, you know, both players spending their money pretty well. If you're keeping your resources to each around 100, I'm not going to get mad at you. Maynard especially getting up a nice flock of Mutalisks, so he's going Mutaling, which is a very strong strategy. Very more common back in these days than it is today, for sure. And there is a forge. Okay, so he is now, I think, maybe worried about Mutalisks, which he should have been a while ago. And all these lings should be drones. Like, this number of Zerglings was just entirely unnecessary for Maynard, but that's okay. He's got 29 workers on 2 bases, which is a much more healthy saturation and distribution of workers than we're seeing here with the 30 probes on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mineral patches. That's so oversaturated. It's crazy. I think he's oversaturated on his assimilator too. That's less of a problem, but still. So 1 base, effectively a 3-gate play. Got an Archon. No thought for High Templar at all here. A Dark Templar, a few Zealots, an Archon, and a Dragoon. And guess who just showed up? A massive 9 Mutalisk flock. If they stack up and the Archon can get some hits on them, good. That'll go exceptionally well here for the Clown. He's not the Clown, he's just Clown. Trying to expand is just not going to go well either. The Mutas make a beeline for this mineral line. Oh gosh. Alright, well, remember how you had an oversaturation problem here earlier, Clown? Not anymore. Your saturation problem has been solved. You're down, oh my gosh, 18. You're at 15. Half of his probes died to these Mutas. And more of them are going to die out here too. Like this Dragoon, this one Dragoon is not going to do it. This one Archon's probably not going to do it. Although the Mutas aren't really interested in engaging with the Archon, which is totally fine. This is why you get Corsairs in this matchup to this day. Because too many Protoss players had this happen to them on the ladder, and they said, this is garbage. Must open Corsairs. At least Bisu's the one who popularized that concept. Oh, there's a cannon up now. The Mutas are just ignoring the cannon entirely. They're like, nah, it's fine. You'll notice we're kind of producing off these gateways for Clown, but he's down to 30 minerals, so that's not going very well. Yeah, he has no probes remaining at all. He just produced 1, which is rallied apparently right. Weird place to rally, I guess. So the Zealots are like, well, let's go for it, I guess. Lurker Aspect is being researched by Maynard. Muta's just taking their sweet time here killing these Zealots. It's all they can do. It takes them so long to kill a Zealot. It really does. They have 1 base armor. The Mutas are doing, I guess they have +1 attack, so they're doing, you know, 8 damage attack here per attack for 160 HP. It's a lot of attacks to take down a Zealot. So really nice 2-base saturation here. Got that double gas roll, and Maynard floating a bunch of resources, yes. But again, that's how it was back then. Like, he's microing these Mutalisks to within an inch of his life of what he's capable of doing at this point in time. The Mutas, again, not great at killing Zealots quickly. And I think Clown recognizes, okay, look. Oh, okay. I was going to say, did he lose his last probe? No, he's got a probe here. He's got a probe and a dream. A third base coming up at 10 minutes from Maynard. Another base coming up at the same time. He's double expanding, and you know what's going to save him is these lurkers. Is there any detection at all for Clown? Nope. Does he even have a robo? No, he does not. So this is the problem for Clown, is the presence of these lurkers. There are a lot of lurkers. If there were 2 lurkers, like maybe you could just run past them and kill these Sunkens and the hatch and maybe win, but no, not with this many lurkers out. I don't know where they're going exactly. Are they like... Okay, don't understand. Oh, they got that one before it could burrow, I guess. The Lings are not great against this Zealot Archon thing at all. All the Zerglings are going to die. The problem is the Sunkens remain. And the Zealots don't have any upgrades to really help them against the Sunkens. And the Lurkers are just going on a counterattack, because that's what you did in 2001, was just Lurker counterattack your dude. I don't know what he's worried about exactly. I guess there's a cannon down here. Gotta watch out for that guy. Hey, look, Clown's up to 4 probes and a dream. And a dream, but bam, Clown leaves the game here at 11 minutes. Maynard floating a bunch of cash, but doesn't really matter at this stage. And that's it for game 1 of our Maynard twofer from September 6th, 2001. What a time. What a time to be alive, is what I always say. Oh, man. That it's so fun to take a look back into the early days of StarCraft, I feel like. Good idea, whoever suggested that I should cast some Maynard replays. There are no Maynard replays on Video Replays after 2001. It's like September 2001, December 2001, and that's it. I think he really decided to buckle down on his studies. He went to college, I feel like, at about that time, if he graduated in 2005. With a degree in electrical engineering, smart kid, who's 40 years old right now. Okay, let's keep this thing rolling. We've got another Maynard replay coming in. This is going to be a PvT, where Maynard actually plays his main race, which is Terran. And, oh, I guess we should check out the score. I don't know that's really going to tell us a lot. It's pretty much a thrashing here by Maynard. 41,000 points to 24,000 points. Outproducing the Protoss quite heavily, killing equal numbers, but guess what? If you outproduce, you can kill equally and still win the game. Structures, nobody lost a structure today, which is kind of fun, but this. Clown had a good probe count, but he could never expand. He had no concept of the Forge Fast Expand, which he could have held off easily against the build that we saw Maynard run. And this is, again, this is refinement that came over years that people figured out. People generally were not aware of this stuff in 2001, I promise you. The internet was in its infancy. Like message boards were in their infancy. Like finding a place where you could go to talk with other StarCraft players and figure out strategies and stuff was basically in StarCraft. It was hard to find anything else. So let's check out game numero dos. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back on Lost Temple here. Left side is going to be the red Protoss player, EnDelfoisE. And at the top side, it is the blue Terran player, Maynard, who again lives on in infamy for the Maynard transfer, which is pretty remarkable, I feel like. Just made his mark on StarCraft early enough and had such an impact that people still know who he is. Wow, incredible. All right, man. So, again, I don't know who EnDelfoisE is. Maybe I can find some professional matches from 2001 to cast. Who would that be? I don't know. I wasn't following the professional scene in 2001. I was just playing with my friends in college. And back in those days, the Brood War ladder had people at the top with records like 9999999 and 0. And I was like, huh. maybe it's not worth laddering because there are hackers, right? Maybe that was the wrong attitude. But anyway, I was pretty secure in my StarCraft prowess. I made Zerg back then. I would expand a whole lot, get a lot of gas, and then make 100 Mutalisks and just crush my opponents. And that went pretty well until one day a kid on my floor in college in my dormitory whose name was Link. I think he was Canadian. I don't know. Maybe one day Link will watch one of these and be like, dude, that's you? He's like, oh yeah, that's me. But Link played against me and I was like, I got this. And Link scouted. I was like, what is this sorcery? Who scouts? He scouted. He found all my expansions. He killed them. I didn't have any kind of an economy. I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't have any builds. I just died. I was like, Link, how? Teach me your ways. And he taught me some things. He taught me some builds. He taught me safe macro builds for Zerg. And to this day, I am grateful for him for that. He was like the nicest guy, too. He was by far the best StarCraft player, I think, that we knew. Any of us StarCraft players knew at college. And it was just humble about it. Nice kid. He let me play Diablo 2 on his computer, which was very nice of him. By golly, I didn't have my own computer when I was a freshman in college, that's for sure. Some people and their parents, though. Again, double gate opening. Double gate against Terran. So the probe harass against the barracks is old, you guys. You noticed that? The probe shows up, harasses the SCV building the barracks. Somebody figured that out a long time ago. Like, SCVs are vulnerable when they're building stuff. Let's try to mess with that, shall we? And they did, and they do to this day. Once again, builds aren't super crisp and super tight here, although that's pretty good for a factory. 200 something minerals, about 100 gas for Maynard, not too shabby. I don't know what this is. Why would you two-gate? Again, the double pylon. Both these Protoss are doing the same thing against Zerg and against Terran. This must just be some kind of all-purpose Protoss build that people knew back then. Again, okay, it's maybe oversaturated a little bit with probes, but I think these simulators are fine. It's nothing to lose the game with, that's for sure. And again, this is Maynard responding to that. He knows it's going to be a two-gate opening from EnDelfoisE, and he's got a full wall up, and he's got Marines behind the wall. That's how you did it. I remember this, too. I remember doing this quite a bit. Had some Korean roommates in 04 later on, and, yeah. What they liked doing, strangely enough, was like having two Terran players be on the same team and then fight against like six AIs. And you just wall off and get Marines and tanks back there and hold off the onslaught until you were maxed out. It wasn't exactly good for strategy. I didn't learn a lot of strategy from them, but I learned some walling off techniques that day, that's for sure. And those days. Yeah, look at this. Quick into Citadel of Adun. We go for speed for the Zealots because it makes them better. The problem is you can't get through that. You're not getting through this wall with Zealots. It is not happening. What you really should do is probably expand. Right? Is it going to expand? No. Protoss back then did not expand. Expanding was a foreign concept to most Protoss and Terran. Zergs kind of, we figured that out early. Zergs had to. Two base Zerg. That's how you rolled against Terran and Protoss, because your units are too weak otherwise. Which, by the way, was a revelation. Like, for anyone who just played Warcraft 2 prior, to have that kind of a difference between your races was like, what? The Zerg, they have to have two bases when everyone else has one or they're going to die? What? Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing stuff. So Zealot's not getting through this wall, especially because there are two Vultures back here now. And in fact, Maynard feels good about it, enough good about this that he's going to move out. Which, how's the micro here? Not great. He doesn't feel like kiting. He's just going to run back behind the wall, land the barracks again, and just invite the Zealots into his home. What's he doing? Yeah, see, nothing on the machine shop, right? It's like, we're going to make some Vultures, and, oh, we have Spider Mines. I lied. Spider Mines just finished. Maynard, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for maligning you. You did get Spider Mines. Which are... Oh, he killed one. Didn't take a hit. Nicely done. Nicely done, EnDelfoisE. Ow. This guy's just dragging through. He's just making sure the spider mines all die so his zealot friends don't have to die. Sacrificial that way. We're going for vulture speed, more vultures, a drop ship, which I guess is pretty darn good on Lost Temple. Just there's a lot of space to drop. The distances between bases aren't that far. Again, the micro here is not incredible. I mean, this is... this is lower level StarCraft that looks like lower level StarCraft today, right? Although, does lower level StarCraft exist? If you go onto the ladder and you're F rank, are they going to play like this? And the answer is, I don't think so. I think StarCraft has gotten so good and so optimized. Anyone still playing generally knows what they're doing. And anybody who doesn't know what they're doing is going to be discouraged from laddering because everyone they play knows what they're doing. And it's a real problem we have. There should just be like a noob-safe ladder that people can join. But see, then people will join the noob-safe ladder as experts just to crush the noobs because they're jerks. Let's, welcome to StarCraft. Welcome to Online Playing 101, everybody. This has been Professor Falcon, your educator here today. What you'll notice here is EnDelfoisE does not have a lot of probes. He's not been doing a great job with his probe count today. You know what's good against Zealots is vultures. That's very true. Oh! Those probes fought. That's not fair. Probes fought and killed that vulture. You know, the large problem is that there's no mining happening for EnDelfoisE right now. It's 36 to 14 workers. It's 52 to 24 total supply. This is just Maynard having a good time today. He lost his vultures, but he did kill some probes. It's 14 probes here for EnDelfoisE. He's bringing his guys all the way back over here. And we're making a Wraith now out of the starport. That's some interesting stuff. And then just making tanks. Just making tanks. So we have siege mode. Did that come through the production tab yet? I don't know. We got vulture speed. Was there enough time for vulture speed to finish and siege to finish? Is he doing a Maynard transfer? Are we blessed this day to see the... Oh, this is beautiful. The Maynard transfer at the time the command center is coming over and landing. Oh, we are all blessed StarCraft fans this day, for lo, we have seen the Maynard transfer. It didn't work. The timing was a little bit off. But yeah, now we're on 2 bases. I like that EnDelfoisE is expanding. That's fantastic. He's making probes as much as he can off of one nexus. That's really good too. But he's just not going to have enough. If you're... Maynard's at 43 supply. EnDelfoisE is at 19. At the 8-minute mark, that is almost insurmountable. I don't know if there's a game that can be played where you can win from that position. I assume Flash can. I assume somebody like Bisu could, but otherwise, yeah. It's quite an insurmountable lead, if you ask me. Forge coming in, because, you know, upgrades are good. Upgrades are great. He's really just making Dragoons at this point. No Zealots at all. I guess he's like, man, my Zealots kept dying to those vultures. They're not very good, are they? The problem is siege tanks are pretty good against Dragoons if they're sieged, and if there are enough of them. The Dragoons can, you know, kind of focus them down if they're in a bad spot positionally. This just keeps sending SCVs for scouting purposes, so he scouts the Nexus. And he just comes in and he's like, what is there? Nothing has changed. I guess there's a forge now compared to the last time he scouted. Is he going to expand down here? No, but he's checking for expansions? Looking for proxies, I guess? Oh, is this high? Oh, this is why Lost Temple is not played today. This is it. These high ground positions that sit over your natural base that siege tanks can line up on and just murder your stuff. So bad. Oh, he does have siege mode. Okay, so this completely locks down EnDelfoisE's base. You'll notice not spending his money very well, but that's because he only has 2 gates. EnDelfoisE understands the basic opening for Protoss in 2001. Does not understand the concept of making more than that if your early Zealot attack is completely destroyed by a wall. I think a lot of players had to go through that. Zergs? Yes, especially. I can make a 4-pool, get 6 slings out in under 2 minutes, and then go kill my opponent. What if they wall? What if they prepare for it? I don't know. It's like cannon rushers. Some cannon rushers are the same way. I'm going to cannon rush, and if I don't know, if a cannon rush doesn't succeed, I don't know what to do. And I think that's an EnDelfoisE moment here. He's like, okay, well, I can get another gateway. If I'm not spending my money well, make more production facilities. That's a good principle to have. Got my speed lots out. They have upgrades yet. No, but there's a forge, so that's cool. Robotics facility on the way. But it's just been a two-basing Maynard here with 56 workers at 11 minutes. Making a third command center. Got a fourth command center. This is exactly what he did as Zerg, right? He did really well in the early stage. Double expanded after he had his two bases up and running. And now he's just going to crush some nerds. It's just too much stuff, man. It's just too many siege tanks. Some marine support, got a Wraith in case there's like a scout or something. I don't know. He's got enough marines to handle that, I think. And this is just, look, the high ground. It's not fair. Seriously. It's not fair. Ooh, I'm going to expand down here, says EnDelfoisE. That'll do very well, thank you. Is he building? He's just, wow, this is very patient. This is like, I don't know what's going to come kill me. I feel like something will, though. So I'm going to make a missile turret right here to siege up a base that I know doesn't exist. But, you know, better safe than sorry with my 800 siege tanks at 12 minutes. Oh, no, don't. Okay, well, maybe one tank will die. One tank died. Everybody else dies. Ooh, okay. Shuttle. Do we know about zealot bombs back then? He's zealot bombing. Okay, all right. He's gonna lose the shuttle, but he's zealot bomb. Oh, he almost killed those tanks. But now these guys are stuck up here because their shuttle's dead. I don't know why that's so funny. These poor zealots, just like trapped on an island above the skies, nowhere to go. All right, EnDelfoisE spending his money pretty effectively. He's got himself the Temple Archives coming in. Maynard starting to float some cash, but that's his weakness, right? He gets a giant economy up, and then he has to micro over here, and he can't really spend his money and do this at the same time. That's the problem. Ow, and that's just it. 64 to 24 supply. They're like, that's it. These, the remainder of his army is up here. He's producing dragoons. When ironically, zealots would be much better against this. Wraith's got a kill. Very proud of that stuff. And I think that's your GG. It's just EnDelfoisE not able to handle the awesomeness that was Maynard in 2001, the fall. So let's see. Maynard, he was definitely a teenager at this point. Oh, hilarious. I should find more replays from 2001. See if I can get which ones to work. 'Cause this is working. This one has not ended. This is not broken at all. But look at this. Mining here. Mining here. Got reinforcements sitting there, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't need them. He recognizes this fact. And EnDelfoisE has left the game. All right. So hope you enjoyed that little sneak peek into the world of StarCraft Brood War in 2001 from Maynard. Again, it's not that he was a world beater. It's not that he was winning world championships or even American championships. Did those even exist in 01? I don't know. It's that he popularized this concept of moving workers from your main down to your natural. So there's faster saturation down here. And that was it. That's what he was known for. He was a good player otherwise, obviously. And he won these 2 games here today. Against 2 lesser opponents, obviously. I kind of wish they were a little bit better, a little more familiar with the game, I think. Look at this. I mean, this is a shellacking. 55,000 to 24,000 points. Outproduced by double and more, and then some. Killed by double. Structures raised 14 to 0. And then total resources, too. This is just having 2, 3, 4 bases when your opponent never gets 2. Had 2 for a second, and then got murdered. All right. Well, you know what that's going to be? That's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered from the year 2001. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.